tough way to end the season on a last 2/10 of a second shot. Give credit to Shea for making the shot. We didn't play a very good fourth quarter. Diana did what she does. Skylar made some big shots. Their experience paid off for them. We made some bad decisions on offense, trying to go into the teeth of the defense with Brianna Turner shot blocking. We were trying to go away from her, and I don't know. We were a little stubborn about it. Phoenix made a great comeback. They outplayed us in the fourth quarter, and that's what happens. It's a tough way to end the season. One of the tougher losses I've had since I've been in Washington, just because I feel so bad for these players for how hard they worked, and they had a chance to win a huge game in advance. Questions?
Kareem?
Hey, Mike, what did you say to the team after you guys went back to the locker room?
I'm no offense, Kareem, but that question, I'm not going to get into much detail. What we say in the locker room is pretty private. Basically, the easier summary is that I'm proud of what they did. I mean, to put themselves in this position and to have fought hard to get to this spot and have a chance to advance, something a lot of people didn't think we could do. And a lot of people thought we were going to get killed tonight. And, for 3/4 of the game, we were in control. And then all of a sudden we weren't. I just told them how proud I am and that it will pay off in the future.
Doug?
Mike, nice season for what you guys had and what you went through to get to the playoffs. Two-part question. I mean, I'm guessing in that final timeout, Shea was probably not on the top 2 or 3 people you thought might get that shot off. And the second part is just that when you talk about all season long is building for next year, how important was what you guys did to make the playoffs to build for next season when you have a lot of other people coming back?
Yeah, I mean, when you're in a situation like that, you have to prioritize things. And Shea had a good game, but we did it. We knew that they were going to put it either in Diggins or Taurasi's hands and try to drive it. We did a great job of cutting off Diggins, and she made a heck of a pass. I mean, to thread the needle cross court to somebody in the corner with time running down, that could have been a play where they never got it off either. And so, we did what we needed to do initially defensively, and Leilani came in to help to make sure that we covered. Our bigs went to cover up the drive on Diggins, and just had a hard time getting back out to her. And it's a great pass by Skylar and an even better shot by them. You just have to prioritize things at a timeout at the end. The other part of your question was, it's going to pay off, in the long run. I mean, the experience that, our key players got this summer will carry over. You put that core group that we have that's not with us back with this group, we're going to be one of the favorites next year. I mean, I don't think anybody, considered us a playoff team, certainly not a couple weeks ago. But we showed some toughness with the core group that was out there, and those guys will be a big part of what we do going in the future.
Thanks, Mike.
Kellen?
Hey, Coach, what is your assessment of the season as a whole? Because you obviously started 3-0 and went through that stretch of losses and had went 5-1 to finish the regular season to make it to the playoffs. What's your overall assessment of the season as a whole?
Well, I think I just basically said that I'm proud of our progress. We had players who got better. Certainly Ariel Atkins and Maisha Hines-Allen got better. Emma got to play, kind of a different role. Leilani got integrated into our team. Kara Leslie got the experience that she couldn't get a year ago. And so, we got to look at a couple of young players. Obviously, with Stella, she didn't get to play much, but Shug came in, and we got a chance to look at, somebody we drafted. And so, we're in a situation where we'll evaluate. We have a great roster for next year. So, We got a couple decisions to make in free agency, but what they did this summer, the summation was in total is that we got better.
Kareem.
Hey, Mike, I was curious, what kind of changed defensively, especially in that fourth quarter, but Taurasi and Diggins kind of got going. Is that just two great players, or did something change on the defensive end?
No, we did. In fact, once they got going, we actually tried to trap Diana and make her give it up. But Diggins made some big shots when we did that. I think, Kia Vaughn made two huge shots when we trapped Diana. And the other thing they did, they had 0 offensive rebounds in the first half, and they had 7 in the second half, many of them in the fourth quarter. Turner was a factor there, but so were others. Like every other Phoenix game, it seems, their parade to the free throw line was a difference. I mean, it was even for a while, and the fouls were even. All of a sudden, it's, they shot 23 free throws or 24, and we shot 13. You can't put them on the line. And Diana's clever. She knows how to get those calls. And so between offensive rebounds and free throws and the two of them just being great players, I mean, that's their go-to players. They made the big plays.
Lindsay.
Obviously, a lot of people are going to remember the play of this team this year, especially down the stretch, but they've also been leaders off the court as well, from the lockout to tonight. I mean, you had on national television in a playoff game, Holly Rowe talking about the census because the player Ariel Atkins asked her to, and Ariel Atkins talking in an interview about voting and, out of breath after the first or second quarter. I mean, as a coach, what does that mean to you, and what have you seen from your players with their off-court leadership this year?
Well, I think I've talked a lot of times about how good Ariel has been, but that group as a whole has been good. They've stayed focused on the things that were important to them on and off the court. The on the court stuff, as I've said already, we got better. The off the court stuff with the social justice issues, they have stuck to their talking points. They made a point in every game of taking the shot clock violation so that announcers could talk about the issues that were important to our team. And Ariel made sure again today that ESPN knew, why we were doing things and using that time to, promote voting and census and all those things. And I think that takes a lot of, stick-to-itiveness and determination to, see what they, see through what they intended to do, and they kept to the subject all summer.
Kellen.
Hey, Coach. So Shea Petty in her post-game TV interview, she said something along the lines of she wouldn't even be at the bubble if it wasn't for you. And what, I guess, obviously hit that buzzer beater today, but what do you think of her just professional journey and her as a professional basketball player and this year and her development this year?
I mean, she was a big part of what we did last year, both on and off the court. She was on this roster early. And then when we had a full roster, she worked as a video intern, a coaching intern, and then came back at the end of the season when Christy was hurt. When we brought her here this summer, we just liked her veteran demeanor and leadership. And the only reason we let her go briefly was we wanted to get Sugar on the roster and look at her. And it was an interesting situation. We told her we were going to re-sign her, and she agreed to it, and then changed her mind, decided to sign with Phoenix. I guess it's worked out for her. We would have liked her to stay. She knew that her minutes might be a little different. And truth be told, when she went to Phoenix, she really wasn't going to play much until Bria Hartley got hurt. But to her credit, she stepped up when they needed her, and she has helped their team over the last 2 weeks. We made that choice initially just because we felt that for going forward for our team in the future, we needed to see some of the young players play. We had no idea Stella was going to get hurt, and we, had offered Shea to come back. But she's been a good pro, and she was, a big part of what we did. And I'm glad she got a chance to win a ring with us last year.
Tyler.
Coach, kind of off that, I know it's still very fresh, but just on a personal level, I know you really care about your players and your former players. How kind of cool is it for Shea to be able to, through her career arc?
Wasn't cool tonight because I don't like to lose. I would like to have seen her make any other shot against anybody else, but not against us, because we want to win. We wanted to move on.
Jen.
Coach, what did you see from Leilani tonight? 25 points against a team that really knows her every move.
Yeah, I mean, she just was trying to will us to win. I mean, making big shots. She was aggressive. It's what we needed, and it's going to, be a huge factor for us next year, because you compare her up with, with Natasha and Ariel, and have a three-headed monster in the backcourt. If we can get Ariel Powers signed, that'll be big for us too. And just putting her with more good post players will take some pressure off her. She and Maisha and Emma and Ariel Atkins and Kiara, they had to play huge minutes for us to be in this position. They won't have to do that. They can play without total fatigue next year, and that'll be big for us.
Megan.
Coach, I know you've talked a lot about the growth of the players, but if you can you tell us about your growth this season with the ups and downs that you've experienced and how you've adjusted as well too?
I don't know. That's going to take some reflection, I think, Megan. I'm going to be 70 years old in a couple of weeks, and I still feel most days when I walk in like I'm 40 with these players. So I think that's a good thing, because they keep you young. I think when you're in the situation that we've all been in our country in the last 6 months, not just on the basketball court, but it becomes clear to you what the priorities in life are. And, we get paid to play basketball, and we all enjoy it, and it's important to us. But it's not who we are; it's what we do. I've learned that you can, I think the reminder is that our first job as coaches is as teachers. And, it's not just about the games that everybody sees publicly. It's the behind the scenes stuff, and getting them to grow up both on and off the court, and, kind of getting a reappreciation for that. Sometimes you kind of forget, and it is a business, but it's that feeling of watching people grow is why you get started in the first place. And I think that's just a reminder for it. It's been tough for everybody. Missing family and all of those things. But I also think that I've learned about our team and things we can implement a year from now that will make us even better.
Last question to Kareem.
Hey, Mike, I just wanted to ask, how much did the early foul trouble on Maisha kind of affect her? It seemed like she kind of never really going to get in a groove, and I'm sure that didn't help.
No, I think it affected her and affected our whole team. It changed the rhythm of the game. She's been playing well, and, we have talked a lot about not getting in early foul trouble against this team, but you get amped up sometimes, and you're trying to make big plays. I didn't think her third foul was a foul, or second. I can't remember which one. I didn't think it was a foul, but it got called. And then getting fourth one early, she did a good job of playing without fouling down the stretch. But I just think it took her out of her game a little bit.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you all for all your support. I appreciate it. Make sure all your friends are registered to vote.
Thanks, Mike.